I bet you want to know who's on the radio. Let's talk about it. I tell you what, you won't find a tandem better than these two. Let's talk about it. You ready for this? See, you didn't just stumble upon some random show. Nah, this here is destiny. Jeffery, Renee.
It's almost showtime, people.
Let's talk about it. Live with Jeffery and Renee. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Only on www.statusnetwork.net. Call or text in live 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffery and Renee.
You know what time it is.
And here are your hosts, Jeffery and Renee.
What is going on, Facebook family? What's going on, Instagram family? It's time for Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. Every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. This is exactly how we do it. Now, as you can see, to my right, this is not Renee.
At all.
Renee will be back with us next week for the 2022. We're looking forward to having her back in the studio. But listen, y'all, listen. We have a dynamic, intelligent, dope-ass unicorn up in this piece today. Will you please welcome Sahar to the studio? Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, y'all know we got a couple of traditions that we do on the show. We're going to push those back just a little bit, and we're going to get right to it.
What are the traditions? Oh, you can't really get. I know, because I'm giving
we
you.
don't have enough time.
I know, because I'm giving you a quickie.
It's
My
all
bad.
good. Now, y'all know that she said she's giving me a quickie. I don't do quickies no more. I need a longie.
No, sometimes the quickies be popping.
I need my bell because I need to ring the bell on that one. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes she's absolutely right. You get it in when you can get it in.
Exactly.
That adrenaline rush.
Bathroom stalls.
Hey, wait a
Back
minute.
to cars.
We ain't even got started yet. Let me get this bell. Lord Jesus.
You see the little hand,
She done rang the bell.
The little hand that popped up.
She done knocked the microphone over. Yes, just don't say the N-word.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a grown folks show today. Now listen.
Don't say nookie.
You can say that N-word. But the other N-word, we don't do that one on the air.
Okay.
Not here. Okay. All right, listen, y'all. Look, I want y'all to understand something. First of all, there is nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with relations. So if you don't have your big boy drawers on, your big girl panties on, you might want to hold off on watching. The phone number is 470-251-4647. So, Sahar, tell everybody about you and who you are.
I am Philly bred. I am a travel nurse, so I've lived in a multitude of cities. Mm-hmm. I am what you call a unicorn. I'm in the lifestyle.
Wait, now what is a unicorn? What is a unicorn?
A unicorn is a single female in the lifestyle who has sex with both men and women.
Okay, now when you say the lifestyle, we all have a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Now what do you mean by lifestyle?
I'm talking about the non-monogamous lifestyle. So it's non-monogamy is the umbrella term for all of your alternative forms of relationshiping outside of monogamy. So polyamory, polygamy, swinging, open relationships, these are all considered non-monogamy or lifestyle relationships.
Okay, good deal. Fair enough. Now, first of all, when she got off the elevator, or when she got in her car, she was tall as hell. She ain't this tall in real life.
Just mad at you short.
Tall as hell. But how did you get into the lifestyle?
Ooh, I think that it was always in me. It wasn't something that I got into. You know, I was never really happy in my monogamous relationships. I've been called many names, like, you know, insatiable, nympho, a serial monogamous, you know, just jumping in and out of relationships because just being unsatisfied. Okay. So after I divorced my husband in 6 months of marriage, I just decided that I wasn't going to be in those type of relationships anymore because they just didn't make me happy. I always felt like a caged bird.
Okay, so let me ask, and if I get too deep, you know, just let me know.
For sure.
When it came to that marriage, that relationship, what did your husband do to try to help you spread your wings, if he did anything?
Nothing. I didn't even tell him. He didn't even know that I liked women. I couldn't tell him I liked women. He was so insecure that he would have thought that I was fucking all of my friends.
Okay, I get it.
So it's like he's already insecure about men. I can't now tell him that I also want to lick some pussy, because then it's like, yes, I like to lick pussy. Because then that would just be problematic.
Understood.
And so, that relationship really just taught me a lot. It taught me about what not to do at any other point in my life in a relationship. Being with an insecure man is not for me.
Understood. Now, how did you transition out of the bird cage into the wild blue yonder? You're as free as you want to be now.
As free as I want to be.
Yes. How did you explain that transition to us?
I just refuse to accept what people consider normal.
Okay.
You have to find this one true love and be happy with this one person for the rest of your life.
Okay.
I just don't agree with that adage. I don't think that we can only love one person at a time. I feel like people can love multiple people. They can have sex with multiple people at a time and still have very fruitful and affectionate and loving and effective relationships, even though that's not what people believe.
Okay, fair enough. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
You meet a man or a woman.
Okay.
And they hit something in you emotionally. And they say, Sahar, listen.
You saying they, you mean he or she?
He or she, yes.
Could it be they?
No, just one or the other. One man or one woman.
Okay.
And they say to you, Sahar, listen, I just want it to be us. Now, let me qualify it. This person meets your emotional needs, your sexual needs. They keep up. They're pretty insatiable too. But they say, I just want it to be us. How do you respond?
I'm not interested.
God, don't. Do you see how fast she responded? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something. When you have your non-negotiables, don't negotiate them.
At all.
All you're asking for is strife. Don't get it twisted now. There's some things that you could compromise on. If it's a non-negotiable, those are the things that you don't compromise on. I just want you to see, it wasn't it was an instantaneous answer. I'm not interested. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so what if him and her said, hey, Sahar, we're digging you. We want you to be a part of our throuple. What do you say?
Do I have to be monogamous with them?
Just the three of you. Throuple.
I'm not interested.
Again, she still said, you kind of thought about that one a little bit.
Well, because I needed to qualify what you were saying. Because I wouldn't mind being a girlfriend to a banging ass couple. We have a great time. The energy is there. The sex is there. But that can't then disqualify me from having sex with other people.
Okay. Great. Understood. Let's talk about this book. Now, a friend of mine follows you on Instagram, and she said, hey, I'm surprised you haven't had her on your show. And so I reached out. The rest is history. But the book is called Let Me Fuck Your Husband. Okay? You can't really see it, but there is one woman to the right and to the left of the gentleman in the middle, and they're all looking at each other like they're about to get it in. So I want to know what caused you to write the book.
I just wanted to share my truth with the world, especially the Black community.
Okay.
Right? In the lifestyle, you tend to find majority white people or Caucasians.
Okay.
So when you go to, say, like a swinger event or a nude beach, like hedonism in Jamaica, right? It's predominantly Caucasian.
Okay.
I mean, and that's okay. But if I'm not really that interested in having sex with white people to that degree where I'm going to go someplace where it's nothing but white people and I'm going to have a great time, that is not what I enjoy. I love brown.
Okay.
All variations.
Do you like your liquor brown or just brown people?
I like brown tequila, so ring a bell. So, and not that I don't have sex with white people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have sex with anyone that I'm interested in having sex with, no matter what the race is, right?
Okay.
As long as they meet my qualifications, then, you know, I'm open to a sexual encounter. But I found that black people tend to, it's because it's not like they're not doing it. It isn't like they aren't having threesomes. It's not like they're not having swinger parties. They might not be calling it that, orgies or what have you,
What do
right?
they call it?
They'll call it an orgy.
They call it, instead of calling it a swingers party, they call it an orgy.
I mean, and that's fine. I just, you know, however they
I
decide
thought it was
to.
a new term or something. You
No,
know,
no, no, no,
start
no.
tackling new stuff out here now.
No, I'm just saying a swinger party because, you know, that's what we call it, a set, a swinger party.
A set.
A set, yeah. Like, I'm having a set. You coming through?
Okay, I got to watch my invites now. 'Cause I might have missed out on a couple of these.
That's what I asked
Okay.
you in the elevator, you know. No.
Went right over my head. Okay, I got it now though. Ask me again. I got it now. Okay.
So I just felt like it was important for me to basically tell, you know, the Browner persuasions that it's okay. Because you rarely see someone that looks like me, my complexion, maybe even a level of sexuality, you know. A lot of times, you know, like even when I was trying to do my research for the book,
Okay.
right? Everything that I found was written by white women or white couples, right?
Okay.
And they can't really speak to the black experience. They don't know what's lacking because they're not looking for that. Now, granted, at these events, when I show up, it's like I'm the chocolate diamond in the room, right? It's like, oh, the brown diamond, the black diamond, the, you know.
Wait. Let me ask you about when you walk into the room. Because now I want you to understand now, you can hear how intelligent she is, how well spoken she is, and how she articulates her reasons for putting the book together. All that, you know, put together now. When you walk into the room, and you know you walk into a room, you just don't like, I'm here. It's like, hey.
No.
you
I'm
know,
usually mostly naked.
But still, you know, you have presence when you walk
For
in
sure.
the room. Have you ever experienced a backlash, like an inferiority complex from the other women in the room? Because you're a head turner.
I mean, I feel like that happens everywhere. It doesn't bother me, so I don't pay attention to it.
Okay.
There's always going to be someone who is, you know, less secure or just completely
enough.
insecure, right? But typically in those environments, the women also enjoy women, so it's more so that they want me too. So it isn't like, oh, my man is looking her. You fuck. I can say fuck, right?
You can say yes. It's the title of your book. It's the title of your book.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. What was the word you said I couldn't use? But you know, so they're interested in me as well. So it's different than when I go into a vanilla space.
Okay.
Right. Vanilla meaning non-lifestyle space. Then the women are like, I don't want my man looking at her, or why are you looking at her? The energy is just different from the women.
Okay, fair enough. Now this is what we're going to do right here, because I want you to give us an excerpt from the book. Let's do this, Brother Joe. Let's hit them off with a little bit of HBCU love. I want everybody to understand something. This is a tradition on the show. We're going to spotlight one of our historically black colleges and universities and their marching band. I believe this is the Ice Cream Man by the Florida A&M Marching 100. 100. We're going to play that clip. We'll come back and we have Sahar reading an excerpt of her book.
Great.
Oh yeah, that was the Florida A&M Marching 100 playing Ice Cream Man. Now look, you know how intelligent we are. We can take the Ice Cream Man theme song and make a hit out of it. And then an HBCU can make a stand tune out of it. See how we do? Nothing but brilliance. That's why we spotlight our HBCUs. All right, we are back with Sahar Taylor. And she's about to read us an excerpt from her book, Let Me Fuck Your Husband, Healing Black Relationships Through Consensual Non-Monogamy. Sahar, you have it.
Thank you. All right, so it's going to kind of be broken up a little bit, but
it's okay.
There was an interview that Marvin Gaye did with Tom Joyner back in 1983, where basically Marvin suggested that marriage was miserable, love was miserable, but sex wasn't, right?
Okay.
So Marvin's words resonated with me, as I'm sure they do with most men and others who are non-monogamous. Not that love and marriage are miserable, but that sex and love are two separate things. But women who don't share this sentiment are headed into battles they are ill prepared for when they believe that sex and love are the same, and enter into relationships with men who see the two as unrelated. The separation of sex and love in my mind happened later in life for me, so I completely understand how most women feel. I was raised to believe that polygamy was normal as a Muslim girl, yet I still wanted to experience love in monogamous relationships because society says that monogamy was normal. When I was cheated on, I would be so devastated because I thought his heart was for another woman. I couldn't understand how someone I loved could have sex with someone else. I was too wrapped up in my own feelings to see that he was just fulfilling his desire to enjoy sex with other women. Now, I'm not holding a torch for cheating men or their behavior. I'm merely stating that I understand why the cheating happened. I realize now that the sex he had with other women was not a degradation of his love for me. It was him tapping into his sexual nature because we were living the monogamous lie. And as I've evolved into a more mature woman and open-minded, I don't view cheating as I once did.
Let me stop you right there because we have a caller.
I was done.
Very good. Caller, you are on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey and Renee, and we have Sahar Taylor with us. Go ahead and give us your name and your question. Yeah, you couldn't handle it. Now, look, this is how I know we got a hot guest.
Did he just hang up?
Because we got trolls calling us. Trolls call when we get hot guests on. So, you know, I didn't mean to cut you off, but they called.
Oh, I was done. It was fine.
I thought they actually had a question for you.
Right.
But there were some busters. No worries, no worries. So I have another question for you.
Sure.
Okay. Can you, or do you mind telling me about your worst experience in the lifestyle?
It's not necessarily the worst experience, but it happens a lot.
Okay.
A lot of times men have problems getting hard, you know, in an orgy situation. So in my mind, I've created this bomb-ass experience with some dope-ass people, and then one or two or three of the men can't get hard. And so nobody's fucking because the men are just trying to figure out and screaming at their dicks like, why want to get hard? Like, don't do this now, you know, that kind of thing.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, it's stage fright. It's sensory, especially if it's a newbie, like someone who's never participated in an orgy situation before. They kind of, it's like too much. Some men can never get hard when another man is around, right? Because of homophobia.
I can understand that.
So there are a lot of things, and I'm not saying that, I mean, and it happens quite often. So it's not, and it happens to those who are, you know, not novices in the lifestyle, right?
Okay.
But yeah, those experiences are always horrible because
Let's keep it 100.
we gotta fluff.
Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100 now.
100.
It's easy for y'all to get ready if you got the right stimulation. Yeah, y'all have innies. If you're ready, we still don't know. If you're not ready, we still don't know.
Viagra.
Okay, let's take that and put it aside.
Cialis. No, don't put it aside. Put it in your mouth.
You know what?
Put it in your mouth and fucking swallow it.
So look,
that's what they need to do.
So what I'm feeling here is there's a time and place for everything. And the time to be erect is in that particular place.
At that time.
Okay, I get you.
At that time. So if you know that a woman or women have invited you to an orgy, prepare yourself, sir. Be prepared.
Okay. Hey.
Manscape, pop that blue pill, and then come over.
Pop the blue pill.
Pop the blue pill. Take the blue pill.
Now, there are side effects. Like possession by the Prince of Darkness is a side effect of taking Viagra.
Wow.
So be careful. Be careful. Okay, so you say that
the side effect is no pussy. That's the side effect.
But that happens frequently, and that's a turnoff.
I mean, not necessarily a turn off. It's just uneventful. Something that could have been like a great experience becomes a non-eventful situation because now the women are like sucking all night, and everybody's just sucking each other off. And I'm set up an orgy to get sucked all night.
Okay, I get it. This is a great conversation. This is a great conversation.
Have you ever been in an orgy?
So we're going to talk about...
No. You said 100, right? Now you're trying to give me 20.
Now look. She's trying to ask me questions on my own show.
This is not a conversation?
That's not how it's supposed to be.
This is a conversation.
That's not how it's supposed to be. So let me ask you some more questions about this book.
Oh, so the next question. What in the nonsense?
How long did it take you to write the book?
2.5 months. I wrote most of it sitting on the COVID ICU units on my phone.
Wow.
Then kind of transferred it over to a Microsoft Word document, did some more edits.
Understood.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to your appetite, how did COVID impact that?
It did.
It didn't? You still got it in? You know what? I ain't mad at you.
I mean,
but the fullness of it, you still got the fullness?
No, I mean, really, at the height of COVID, I was working in COVID ICUs.
Sure.
And to be honest, we were considered pariahs. People treated us. I'm a nurse, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it. Yeah, traveling nurse.
mentioned it.
I did. Okay.
I got you.
So, people didn't want me to come to their homes. They didn't want me to go to family events. No, because they felt like I had a higher chance of acquiring COVID,
right? Because you were
because I'm taking care of COVID patients.
Sure.
Which is there, right? So that did slow down my shenanigans.
Your action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was living in Fresno for about 3 of those months. I was on a COVID assignment. They paid very well.
Yeah.
And California is a dig desert, especially Fresno.
Okay, I've never heard that term put that way before. So.
Dig desert?
Make it plain, because for a woman,
there were no black people to fuck.
Okay. Now I've heard that in California, men really aren't looking for black women.
I don't necessarily want to make that generalization because I did find quite a few black men that wanted to have sex with black women, but there's not an abundance. There isn't an abundance of black men who are interested in black women. You see them, but a lot of the people in California are transplants. Let me say not California, but in Los Angeles, because that's where I was the majority of the time.
Sure.
You see them with others. Anything other than a black woman is basically what I'm saying.
I get it.
Which is fine. And then if you go into the areas where they're majority black men, they're not the kind of black men that I want to be involved with. So I stayed where I knew to stay, where I knew it was safe. And in those areas, you have the lawyers and the actors, and they aren't always interested in a black woman. But I didn't have a problem with finding men. It was just that they weren't the type of men that I wanted to have sex with.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now you mentioned earlier that you really always had these feelings in you and you suppressed them. Tell us about your first time actually letting them out. Expressing your, getting it all out. Was it like just a deluge of,
All out.
Yeah, all of it. You haven't gotten it all out yet?
No, I'm so far from done. Like,
Well,
there are things that I have not done that I can't wait to do.
Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Having been in the cage,
okay,
when you finally got out, what was the first thing that you did? How did you exercise your new freedom?
My next relationship was an open relationship with a man that refused to be in a relationship with any woman who wasn't having sex with other men.
Okay, so like-minded relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, how did it work? As far as, how did that feel to you the first time?
Oh, that was great. I mean, initially it was kind of scary. He wanted to share his experiences with other women, which was fine. I wanted to hear about those things.
Okay.
But then he wanted me to share my experiences with other women.
Wait. Let me make sure I understand what I'm hearing here.
Mm-hmm.
You two will be in the middle and you're just rocking it out.
No.
Okay.
This is like during regular people's conversation.
Dinner conversation.
Yeah, like over some drinks, or on the phone. We're just chatting.
On the radio show.
Right, exactly. So he was just he wanted to be very honest and open about his experiences with other women, even prior to us actually entering into the actual relationship. And initially I wasn't ready for that because I was so used to hiding my desires for other people that it just felt weird to me that that's what he wanted me to do, So eventually when I realized that it was for real, like he was for real. He wasn't going to hold what I told him against me, which is what we're used to, what I was used to.
Absolutely.
You tell a man, I had sex with such and such, and now when such and such comes around, it's, why don't you go fuck such and such?
Nigga, your boy.
Right. Right.
You've been gone for 3 minutes.
Right.
Well, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That kind of thing. And so, not having to deal with that, it made it easier to be open. And I think that that's the part that gets lost with a lot of people is that when you make the person that you're trying to enter these type of relationships feel safe, that what they say won't be held against them in a court of law,
I get it.
Then they are more likely to reveal themselves to you. Because that revelation is something that we all want to be able to do. We all want to be able to sit down with our partners and say, her ass is fat. I would love to fuck her. Wouldn't you love to say that to your woman?
So let me ask you these questions.
See, this man is just like,
we're getting close to the end of our time together. We're getting close to the end of our time.
We are. And that's my bad. And that's my bad.
No worries, but I got to maximize.
Oh, so because we only got a little bit of time, I don't get to ask shit.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
We only got a few minutes.
I double booked, people. It wasn't intentional. It was a complete error on my part. But
she's going to come back to the show.
I will.
And we'll finish our conversation. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
These are yes or no questions, 3 rapid fire questions. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Women are a freak for the right man, yes or no?
Yes.
Easy question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Women are bigger freaks than men.
Yes.
More sexual than men.
Yes.
Okay. Men are bigger prudes than women.
Yes.
Okay. Fellas, those are all easy questions. I'm giving you the info. Here go the tip for you, fellas. If you create the right environment, just like she said, and I've been saying this too, you create the right environment for your woman, you can pretty much get anything you want from that woman as long as she doesn't feel judged and she feels that it's a safe space. You can't throw it back in her face. You can't, look at her, side-eye now because you see how sexual she really is. If you didn't know, fellas, women tend to do everything that we do at a much more intense level. So when we think we're getting it in, just imagine the intensity of a woman getting it in. It ain't nothing to be scared of. Just buckle up. Hold on. It's going to be all right. You're going to enjoy it. I promise you. You're going to enjoy it. All right, we're getting close to the end of our time with you. Sahar, how can people find out and purchase your book, and where can they follow you?
So they can follow me on Instagram at dopeassunicorn. At Dope Ass Unicorn.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I'm also Dope Ass Unicorn or Sahar Isla Taylor. That's ISLAH. On Twitter, I'm Dope Ass Unicorn, but I believe it's 3 S's in ass because, all this ass I got back here. And then
she's sitting on it. She's sitting on that thing.
And also my book can be found on Amazon. You can just type in Sahar Taylor or type in the title of the book, Let Me Fuck Your Husband. Or you can go to my website at Sahar Isla Taylor, and there's a link in there also for you to purchase the book.
How did you come up with the title of the book? I just got to know.
It's what I enjoy most.
But does it have to be a husband? I'm not married. Does it have to be a husband?
No.
Okay.
But the idea wasn't just about having a threesome or an orgy.
No, I
the
understand.
purpose of the book was to relay the message to black couples that it's okay to share your partner without the fear of losing them.
Whew. Now, what advice would you give to women to try to get their husbands to be a bit more open-minded? Last question.
That's not an easy question because, again, you know, it's okay for a man to express his sexual nature, but it isn't okay for a woman to express her sexual nature. So men like to believe that women are more insecure and more jealous than men are, but it really isn't the truth, because a woman can accept that their man wants to have sex with other women, but let her say that she wants some other dick. He can't let that shit go. He won't let that shit go.
It depends.
It does depend.
It depends.
It does depend.
There are some variables. I won't disagree with your sentiment, though. I won't disagree with your sentiment, because we all know, men, that there's some types of hurt that we just can't deal with. We can dish it. We just can't deal with it because it becomes much more personal to us on that level. It's like some of us, damn, can I measure up? Because she spoke about, it's the Will Smith versus Tupac conundrum. Will is with Jada, but he's worried about someone that Jada says she never slept with. And he built up a monster in his head, and he even admitted that I wasn't man enough to be able to handle the fact that that was someone in her life that she treasured, but she was my wife. Come on, son.
He didn't even speak to him, he said.
Wouldn't even speak to him. Had
him.
an opportunity, and he regretted it. Now, fellas, that was Big Will admitting that. If you admit it to yourself, maybe things will open up in your relationship. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me, and I do apologize for the
No worries, no worries. Before we get you
confusion.
out of here, let's go ahead and set this video up. If you did not know, this week, Sidney Poitier passed away. Now, I want you to understand that this man was a boss. There was this scene in this movie where they wanted him to be slapped by a white man. He read the script and he said, no, we got to change this. I mean, if I'm getting slapped, I'm slapping back. That's how I am. That's how we do things from where I'm from. And they changed the script. And when they changed the script, it was one of the most controversial scenes ever in a movie, on TV, or anything. I want you to see this clip. Just watch it in its fullness and watch the butler. Watch the butler's reaction. This is Sidney Poitier. Rest in peace. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Last night, about midnight.
Gillespie?
Yeah,
You saw it.
I saw it.
But what are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
I'll remember that. There was a time when I could have had you shot.
Of January 6 convicts got no prison time at all. Let me repeat. Of the 70 who have been sentenced, most got no prison. And of those who were sent to jail, the median time for trespassers and insurrectionists is about 45 days. That's it. This is America. So let's take it in together, since we deal in evidence, and tonight is the night to do it. They led an insurrection a year ago today. They planned a coup a year ago today. No leader has been charged at all. Most of the trespassers have not been charged at all. Most of those charged have not been convicted yet. Most of those convicted have not gotten a day in jail. And now some are openly talking about stealing the next election. It is past time to wake up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, please keep in mind that we are celebrating the anniversary, first of all. Not a good anniversary. The anniversary of the January 6th insurrection last year. The last video that you saw was a report on the arrest rates. I need you to understand something, folks. They are not getting harsh sentences for what they did. They are getting pats on the back. Now, Merrick Garland said that, hey, what we're doing is we're building a case. We're going after the low-hanging fruit, and then we're working our way up to the top. I get that. I understand. The caucasity of these people that went into the Capitol building a year ago, yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, whatever, January 6th, whatever it was. I need you to understand day before yesterday that you don't abide that. You come down on it. By contrast, there were people who were protesting injustice. There were people who were protesting things that happened that should not have happened. All right, we got a call. Let's see what we get here. This is going to be interesting, Brother Joe. Hey, caller, you're on live with, you're on Let's Talk About It live with Jeffery and Renee. Give us your name and your comment. Okay, look, y'all, I'm gonna give it to y'all like this. I ain't got time for y'all. If you got something to say, come on, catch this smoke. I'm ready for you. Either way, I'm an informed person. So if you want the smoke, come on. But don't play any games, because first of all you're doing is wasting your time, because I will actually smoke you on this phone. I will smoke you. So don't think you got somebody who doesn't know what's going on. If you want to troll, I will show you a troll. Not a little garden gnome, but a troll, the king of the damn trolls. Don't play with me. Anyway, these people now are emboldened because they're not seeing anyone really get hard time. Not a whole lot of long sentences being given out. So that makes people think, oh, it's okay. And it's not. As I was saying, you had people who were protesting injustice, a miscarriage of justice, standing up for their community. And they were basically beaten. They were told, you shouldn't be here. The response to a peaceful gathering was absolutely ridiculous. And then you got these fools storming the Capitol, getting the kid glove treatment because their candidate got his ass beat. They're mad because their person got their ass beat in a free and fair election. The republic and democracy doesn't work only when you like it, when you're happy with the results. It happens whether you're happy with them or whether or not you are not happy with them. That's how it works. You just mad because you're used to getting your way. It's like a spoiled kid. As long as you're getting your way, you're good. But as soon as you don't get your way, you want to argue. I ain't got time to argue with you. You want to storm the Capitol. I mean, let's keep it a buck. You want to storm the Capitol because you're scared. More than anything else, you are scared. We're going to try this one more time. Then after this, I'm just not answering. Hey, caller, you on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey and Renee. Give us your name and your question. Hi. So, Joe, I'm turning the volume all the way down. I ain't taking no more calls because we got some kids playing on the phone. All right, so let's get into something else here. Now, this is something I want y'all to understand. I might debate relationship stuff. I might talk about why some women are single, why some men are single. At the core, I love my community. I love black women. Love black men, respect black men. There's one thing you will never hear me do on this show, and that is disparage a black woman. Not going to happen. If I have somebody on the show and they have a difference of opinion, if they cannot articulate that without disparaging black women, they will not be on the show. Just is what it is. But here's the part that has me a bit confused. It seems like the millennial generation have lost their damn mind. I saw this show called Fresh and something. I can't remember. Fresh and something. Some podcast. I'm going to play this clip talking about the disrespectful treatment of black women that these two men made. Now, listen, first of all, everybody can have their preferences. You can love who you want to love. That doesn't mean you got to put somebody else down when you're talking about who you love. Young black men rejecting black women is problematic. Now, I'm not saying having a preference. I'm saying rejecting black women. That's problematic. So we're going to play this clip, disrespectful treatment of black women, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Roll that clip for me.
About the black dating app called Black. Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro, but hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders.
Nah,
so
bro, I'm good.
You know, sometimes if they're, you know, red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay, so
what about the black dating app called Black? Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro, but hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that.
Man.
We ain't night riders.
Nah,
so
bro, I'm good.
You know, sometimes if they're, you know, red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay, so
what about the black dating app called Black? Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro, but hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to understand and get the effect of what these two young black men were saying. Now, I don't know this for a fact. I would wager, though, that they probably have black people in their family somewhere along their heritage. One of the brothers is fairly brown skin, and he's making a mockery of black. One of them said LaQuisha or something like that, making fun of a young lady's name that's likely to live in our neighborhoods. Let's keep it a buck here. One of the worst things, one of the absolute worst things that you can do is have self-hatred. Because at that point, what it means is that nobody has to do anything. You'll do it to yourself. Nobody has to say anything. You will say it to yourself. Nobody has to put you down. You'll put yourself down. And this show actually gets a pretty good amount of views. And the thing that continues to jump out at me is somewhere in their families, there has to be some brown people or some black people. Here's the part that I find even more disturbing. They're making money off of this. They have a monetized channel. They get a lot of views. People are watching this, and this is the part that I think is being missed on some millennials. You think just because you're young that black history really doesn't apply to you. You're over that stuff. Slavery ain't got nothing to do with me. Nobody in my neighborhood was ever a slave. You think it's disconnected from you. You pay it no attention. You have no connection to it. You're not worried about the ancestors because you got relatives. You ain't got no ancestors. What you will discover is you are no different in this racist structure than the slave. You are a second-class citizen. You can look around all you want to, but the minute you try to go outside of the box, unfortunately, you will discover that the system still views you as less than. I'm not saying accept it. I'm not saying buy into it. I'm saying be aware of it, so that when you navigate, you don't navigate out of ignorance. You navigate out of knowledge. Those two young men, all I can say is some things ain't worth it. Some things just not worth it. You're killing me. Okay, now I gotta let you know that we have been having some real serious things going on in this country. Omicron, the Omarion variant, had us have 1 million new cases earlier this week. 1 million new cases in one day. I don't mean in a week. I mean in one day. Now, fortunately, it seems that the Omarion strain, I'm sorry, let me stop that. The Omicron strain is not as severe as Delta, fortunately. But guess what? There is another strain they've discovered in France. I guess they're trying to put the whole group together now, the whole Greek alphabet, because there's another strand supposedly that's even more contagious than the Omicron variant. Here is why I bring this up. Look, you don't have to get vaccinated if you don't want to. That's completely up to you. When you have governors who have tests, they have tests, and they let those tests expire. 800,000 tests expired in the state of Florida. And then the governor of Florida said to the federal government, I need you guys to send me some tests because we need tests. And then admitted that almost 1,800,000 tests were allowed to expire because they did not set up enough testing venues. When you have stuff like that happening, it's bigger than politics. Taking a test will allow you to make an educated decision. You know what? You don't have to get boosted, but if you start getting symptoms and you can't get a test, there's a greater likelihood you're going to infect more people because you could just have a cold or you could have COVID. But they're hiding tests, the state of Texas, doing everything they can to make sure that no mask mandates in schools, no vaccination mandates on for companies. No. Now they're asking for federal support for more testing because they're having surges. They're doing everything to stop it, to make you feel good for feeling like you don't have to get a mandate or to make sure that you don't get mandated to get a shot. They're doing all that, but then turning around saying, hey, we still need your support though. We still need you to give us these resources. Now, I guarantee you this, if it was Trump in office, Trump would have said, y'all go to hell. And you, some of the people who are not, who are pro-choice, pro-autonomy over our bodies, they'll be like, yeah, Trump said you ain't got it, yeah. But as soon as a woman says, I want to have autonomy over my body, no, you don't have that right because the Bible says so. Come on now. Quit playing. All I'm saying is, you're going to have to make up your mind. You're going to have to make up your mind. If you don't want to be vaccinated, cool. You don't get to go everywhere you want to go because businesses get to set their own policy. So you can't work where you want to work if that business says, guess what? If you're not vaccinated, you cannot work for us. It's just like having your vaccinations to go to school. Nearly everybody I know, and when I say nearly, I'm going to say 99.9% of everybody I know, received some vaccinations as kids to be able to go to school. It's still the case right now. Your child will have to be vaccinated with certain vaccines to be admitted to a public school. It is what it is. In the military, there are people in the military who are defying a direct order for a vaccination. Now let's keep it in perspective here. In the military, there is no choice. If they say you're getting vaccinated for this, you're getting vaccinated. It's so that you are in a state of readiness for deployment. It is what it is. You signed up for that. You don't get to say, oh, I got all them other 15, 20 vaccines. I don't want this one. I don't want this one. Donald Trump was on Candace Owens' show and even admitted, hey, the people who are dying now, they're primarily the people who are not vaccinated. The vaccine works. The vaccine works. Candace had to pivot real quick to talk about something else, but she had the audacity to say that there are more people dying under President Biden than died under President Trump. And Trump said, you know what? That's because they're not vaccinated. Trump got a booster. Marjorie Taylor Greene got a booster. Matt Gaetz got a booster. All these people are boosted. And they're telling your ass you ain't got to do it. And some of y'all sipping the Kool-Aid, getting sick, people in your family are passing away, the rates are continuing to go up, and you frustrated. You're mad. You're frustrated thinking, wow, you know, I'm tired of this. I got COVID fatigue. But you will not be vaccinated. You get mad when people won't let you in their establishment, but you won't get a vaccination. You get mad when people say you got to wear your mask, and you talk about, I got freedom, not in the private business, you don't. I got freedom of speech, not in the private business, you don't. Oh, they're kicking people off Twitter. You don't have free speech on Twitter. Those amendments don't apply like that to Twitter and to Facebook. You've been miseducated and misinformed. You've been run astray or led astray and run amok. Come on now. So I'm going to give it to you like this. I am pro-choice when it comes to vaccines. You can get vaccinated if you want to. You don't have to. That's your choice. You also don't get to tell other people what to do with their businesses. Now, airlines. There was one flight, I think it was coming from India, and 90-something% of the people on the flight had the virus. 90-something%. It was like 70-something out of 110 people. Maybe not quite 90, but a whole lot of them. A whole lot of them had the virus. Roughly 70%. My math's off a little bit. But the bottom line of it, that's a whole hell of a lot of people. That's a whole lot of people. Again, you don't have to get vaccinated. You do not have to. But you better be glad that I don't have a restaurant because you would not be able to come in. What? Nope. No vaccine. What? Turn your ass around. Well, I'm going to call the media. Call them. Well, I'm going to get mad. Get mad. Scratch your ass and get glad. That's what we used to say in Columbus back in the day. I don't give a damn. Happy New Year. So check me out. Check me out. Ladies, I want to ask y'all this question. I'm going to pivot here first of all. I had this question for Sahar. I'll have to ask it when she comes back. I had the question for Renee, too. I'll have to ask it when she comes back. Renee, come on back now. You know we're missing you up in this piece. So, ladies, is a man supposed to pay your bills? Now, when I was a young man, there was a song that says, ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me. Nothing from nothing means nothing. Life is too serious. Love is too mysterious. A fly girl like me needs security. I understand Notice what she was saying, though. You had to have a job, first of all, to date her. And she needed security. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Got to have a job. I get it. Back in those days, though, that basically meant that you had to be her husband, not her boyfriend. So this thing is, now it seems that boyfriends are required to pay bills too. Well, I got a clip that we're going to play. And let's just talk about it, honestly. Is a man supposed to pay your bills if he's not your husband? Go ahead and roll that clip for me, Brother Joe.
Women don't like men who don't pay bills.
Okay. Women like men who pay bills. Okay, are you speaking in regards to your bills or his bills? Because if you two are not married and you're just cohabiting or in a relationship, guess what? He's not obligated to pay your bills. That's not one of his responsibilities. You do that. Now, a lot of people like cohabitation. I completely understand. I get it. But those are the same people who don't understand how intimacy actually works in a relationship. One thing y'all probably don't know about is there's a such thing as financial intimacy. Okay? It actually helps stimulate that closeness that you need between you and your partner. So instead of worrying about if the man pays bills, you two should be doing that together. So that way it can stimulate your financial intimacy as well as your intellectual intimacy, as well as your social intimacy, as well as your emotional intimacy. They all go hand in hand. But don't ask men to do things they're not obligated to do. And I know women tend to hate to hear this, but your boyfriend is not obligated to meet those overwhelming expectations that you create or those standards that you may have placed, that you believe that you have. They're not obligated to meet that, and you're not entitled to a man paying your bills and taking care of your responsibilities. As I always say, in a relationship, your boyfriend really doesn't have to do anything, and this is his choice even still, but to take you out on a date or two, make you feel special, lay you down, take care of you sexually, and go on about his business. Women like men who pay bills. You do not want me to go down the list of what men like. You don't want me to do that. But I ain't nobody. I'm just kidding.
Woo! Why do I feel like I'm on one side of the desk? Let me get centralized here. It's just me now. Let me get centered up in this piece. All right, that's about as good as it's gonna get. So listen to me now, ladies. I need you to understand in essence what the first lady was saying. Women don't like men who don't pay no bills. I completely understand. I ain't paying your bills. I'm not paying your bills. My daughter, yeah, I pay her bills. I ain't paying your bills. Help my son pay, yep, help my son pay his bills. I ain't paying your bills. My wife, absolutely. Done. Easy as hell. Not even a debate. Done. Girlfriend, girl, if you don't sit your ass down. No, I'm not going to ask you to 50-50 on no dates. I'm going to ask you to pay my bills. No, I'm not going to ask you that. But I am not paying your bills because they're yours. You all educated, right? You got that degree, right? Use it to pay them bills. I mean, you are a learner. You are a scholar. Use that scholarship to pay them bills. I'm not paying your bill. No, not happening. Not going to do it. Nope, not going to do it. I am not going to do it. And here's why I'm not going to do it. Because, first of all, you haven't earned it. You haven't earned it. Don't get it twisted. Now, that cookie, that thing is the truth. That cookie is fire. Don't get it twisted. Love it. It feels good. Don't get it twisted. It ain't worth that much. I'm sorry. The availability of good cookie has decreased the value of good cookie in the marketplace. Don't get it twisted. I mean, not to disparage ladies. I love y'all. Y'all smell so good. And y'all be looking all good. And y'all so soft. Lord Jesus ain't paying your bills, though. I'm not going to do it. Now, let's just keep it a buck. Again, I'm not asking you to split no dates with me. I know how to court you. I know how to make you feel like a woman. You just sit back and enjoy the ride. You go get that. I ain't paying your bills though. Not gonna do it. You independent? You better pay them bills independently. Don't depend on my income to pay your bills. It's not gonna happen. Now, if we're bringing things together, you know, I get it. We're gonna have that financial discussion. Things will be put in order. It's all good, but nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And I stand on that proudly. You made them damn bills. Go lay down with them after you pay them. Boy, look, you know, something else that I've noticed that's been going on in social media world, and you know, not even just social media world, it's prevalent in relationships now. Everybody is mad at everybody else in the relationship space now. If a man says, women, y'all don't know nothing about how to treat a man, then the woman comes back and says, well, would you say that about your mother? You're talking about your mother. And it just goes back and forth and back and forth. Now, I'm not talking about the information where we're putting each other down and talking bad about each other. There's no place for that stuff. But I'm talking about playing the trauma game. Who has the most trauma? Have black women been through more trauma, or have black men been through more trauma? Who is the trauma king or queen? The fact is, the community has gone through the trauma. The community. If you stop focusing on black women and stop focusing on black men, you'll see that this is a community thing. That's where the trauma lies, in the community, not just on black men. I was listening to some people debate the other day, and they said ever since slavery, black women have been treated this way. And black women have been carrying this since that time, as if black men wasn't right there. But it's different, because black women had to see their black sons be castigated and ripped away from them, as if the black father did not see that. As if the black father did not experience that. But it's different. Black women had to raise their children as if black men weren't also in the house doing things to help raise those children. Don't get it twisted now, ladies. I do understand exactly what you're saying. That's some traumatic stuff. It happened to our community, though. Not just the black women in greater results, and not just the black men in greater results. It happened to the community. The community. They got you focusing on you instead of the you in the community. Instead of the you in the unity of community. They just got you focusing on you outside of all of that. Come on, son. Come on, daughter. You got to do better than that. This is community trauma we got going on. Community trauma. All right, y'all think I'm playing with y'all. I am not playing with y'all. Now look, I'm a boxing fan. I don't know if you're a boxing fan or not, but there has been this brother named Jake. No, he's not a brother. There's been this fighter called Jake Paul. And Jake Paul has been making a name for himself, fighting people. I think he's 4-0 right now. He fought Floyd Mayweather. Now, Floyd hit him with a right and wobbled his ass and caught him and didn't let him go down. Let's keep it a buck. Jake Paul is about 180, at least 180 pounds. Floyd Mayweather is like 150 on a good day. So Jake Paul tends to fight fighters who are smaller than he is. He tends to have a reach and height advantage over the people he's been picking to fight. Recently, he fought a guy named Tyrone Woodley, or Woodley, I can't think, Woodley, I think. Woodley, I think that's his name. I actually follow him in MMA, and the dude is a beast. I mean, that dude can fight. I thought he was going to whoop Jake Paul up. The first fight, Jake Paul won on a split decision. In this second fight, though, Tyrone Woodley took it at a last minute because the person he was going to fight was Tyson Fury's brother, and his brother pulled out. Either he had a cracked rib or viral infection, I don't know. He pulled out of the fight. Tyrone jumped in to the fight. The fight was boring. But I got a clip of Jake Paul in the final round, I believe it was round 6 of that fight. Jake Paul actually doing what he needed to do to win that fight. Go ahead and play that clip for me, Brother Joe.
From time to time, just that.
Never seen a sunshine like this. Never seen the moon glow like this. Never seen the waterfalls like this. Never seen the lights off like this.
Did you? I can't take it. Did you see the power of that punch? Now look, ever since they gave y'all the internet, y'all done lost y'all damn mind. That was funny as hell. That when I saw that, I mean, it still cracks me up. That was just funny as hell. But Tyrone Woodley, he's a really, really good fighter, skilled fighter. I've seen him, usually when he wins a fight, he doesn't do a whole bunch of dancing and celebrating. It's about business. You know, he shakes the ref's hand, shakes his opponent's hand, and that's it. You know, nothing but mad respect for him. There are some people who are saying that he threw that fight. I watched that video. Jake Paul faked to the body. He lowered his hand like he was going to block the punch to the body. And that's when Jake Paul came up and hit him. I don't think he threw the fight. I think he wasn't in top shape for the fight. I don't think he was ready for the fight. I don't think he threw it, though, because if you watch that video, he moved like he was getting ready for that body blow. And Jake Paul came up, caught him wide open, and knocked the hell out of him, knocked him out. Now, to everybody, again, who's talking about Tyrone Woodley throwing the fight, you can't beat him. Talking all that stuff from your couch. You can't beat Jake Paul either. Some of y'all can't. I got a classmate, well, he's a couple of years younger than me. I think Dennis McKinney would put something on that ass. You know, that's what I believe. Anyway, let's keep on pushing. How about this? Since I have not been here for the new year, let's talk about what's been happening in 2022. First of all, how about them damn Georgia Bulldogs? Now, first of all, after every HBCU college or university out there, I'm a fan of UGA. And they happen to play Michigan. And their head coach, Jim Harbaugh. And, you know, Michigan came in with a little bit of moxie. They had been playing pretty well. They dismantled Ohio State, won the games they needed to win. They were looking like a formidable opponent. And they got stomped. I mean, UGA made it look easy. They just came out, rah, 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 touchdown on that ass. Made it look real easy on them. Handily, just beat that ass, handily. It was never in doubt, never any doubt as to who was going to win that game. In fact, they were making memes of the Michigan fans looking dejected all game long. I don't think they had one moment of joy in that game. Joy did not come in the morning for them. It was nothing but misery. It did, the weeping, it did endureth for the night on Michigan. So that's a good thing right there. Another thing that's happened, Charlemagne the guy had Kamala Harris on, and he asked her, who is the president of the country? Is it Joe Biden or is it Joe Manchin? Now let's just level set here. First of all, I'm about sick of Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, my bad, homie. I'm sick of them. Here are the Democrats with enough votes trying to pass the agenda, and these mofos saying that I'm standing for bipartisanship, as if you were not there when they rammed through all those judicial picks. When there was legislation to address the pandemic, they sat on it. But they just went straight through tradition. They went straight through all this stuff when it came to judicial picks. And you sat there and watched that, and now you're talking about we got to have bipartisanship. Where have you been serving? Where have you two been serving? Let's talk about Joe Manchin and his state. Let's just keep it a buck now. Poverty isn't that low. I believe he's in West Virginia. I believe he's in West Virginia. Poverty's not that low there. They're still dependent on coal and manufacturing of coal and things of that nature for their economy. I understand that. You ain't gonna tell me that the child tax credit won't benefit people in your area, your constituents. You're not gonna tell them, oh, we gotta have a work requirement. If you don't sit your ass down talking about a work requirement, where is a work requirement listed in your Bible? We gotta worry about the deficit. You weren't worried about the deficit under Trump. You weren't worried about the Republicans trying to stop raising the debt limit or debt ceiling or whatever you want to call it, when in fact the debt ceiling had to be raised because of the budget that they did under Trump. Now they're saying don't raise the budget. This is what you're saying we have to be partners with through bipartisan legislation. We did it on this one bill, the infrastructure bill. Why can't we do it in other places? Because they don't want to. They have been obstructing anything that will help people since the Obama administration. When McConnell got power, he immediately started taking advantage of the filibuster. Now let's just keep it real about the filibuster. The filibuster was put in place to stall a lot of legislation that would have benefited black people. A lot of it. A lot of Southern Republicans, a lot of Southern senators would filibuster the passage of this. It took riots being broadcast on national TV to get the Civil Rights Bill passed. It took the assassination of Martin Luther King to get fair housing passed. And you're talking about bipartisanship. Come on, son. Come on. I really believe that what you're doing is you're being the front face for some senators who think just like you. You're just taking the blow for them. You're the front of the shield, the tip of the spear, whatever you want to call it. Because I'm just having trouble believing that you really think bipartisanship is a possibility on things like this. Now look, they recently changed the filibuster to allow the debt ceiling to be increased. The filibuster, they changed it. They can do the same thing for voting rights. And here you are again, I don't know, we need to be careful about this, that, and the other. They're just talking about one specific carve out. Well, if you carve a little bit, you gotta eat the whole turkey. What kind of bullshit is that? If you carve a piece of the turkey, all you gotta eat is that meat that you carved off. It's one of the dumbest things I've heard somebody say. It's killing me. Driving in an Italian car, an Italian sports SUV, and you're from West Virginia, at least you could do is drive a damn American vehicle. Come on, son. You drive what you want to drive. I'm just being petty now. All right, now look, man. In 2022, we have got to be strong. We've got to be strong. Now, you know the saying that God won't put nothing on you that you can't bear, that you can't handle. Sometimes it feels like God got a good sense of humor. Well, maybe he just knows, or she, maybe they know that you are stronger than you think you are. So I got a clip that perfectly shows just how difficult it can be to embrace your strength. This is called, God said you're strong, and it's the truth. God did say that you're strong, because you know what? You are strong. Even at your weakest point, you're still strong. You ain't got to give up. You ain't got to give in. The main thing is that you remember that your strength is something that you can always tap into. So let's look at this clip. It says, God said you're strong. Go ahead and roll that clip for me.
I'm not sure who told God I was one of his strongest soldiers, but I'm not, bro. Actually, I'm getting my ass beat. These weapons formed against me, they prospering just a little bit. Bills, Tawanda, the police, come get one of these battles. Come get one of them back. I don't want all these battles to fight. I didn't put this shit in the email. I never said it in a prayer. Who told bro I was strong? Don't speak on my fucking name no more. I'm not sure who told God I was one of his strongest soldiers, but I'm not, bro. Actually, like, I'm getting my ass beat. These weapons formed against me, they prospering just a little bit. Bills, Tawanda, the police, come get one of these battles. Come get one of them back. I don't want all these battles to fight. I didn't put this shit in the email. I never said it in a prayer. Who told bro I was strong? Don't speak on my fucking name no more. I'm not sure who told God.
Boy, boy, boy. He said bills, police, Tawanda. Now look, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. But you can make it, brother. You can make it. I believe in you, brother. I believe in you. Going back to 2021. 2021 was a trip. Derek Jackson got caught cheating on his wife in 2021 and still came out with a book and still sold copies of that book and still got his wife. I mean, it just is what it is. Kevin Samuels just came to the forefront and, you know, he kept speaking on high value men and high value this, and, you know, his following is just gone through the roof. And Tommy Sotomayor is saying that Kevin Samuels basically stole my MO. He's just basically doing the same stuff that I've been doing, and he's just doing it different. And women coming at Kevin Samuels saying that he gay, and it's 2021 was off the chain. We thought we were going to have some freedom because Joe and Kamala are in office, but lo and behold, COVID's still right here with us. It's getting a little worse. 2021 was 2021 was off the chain, for real. On a happier note, Morris Brown College got their candidacy for accreditation in 2021, and they also are able to offer, we all are able to offer federal financial aid again. Hey, 2021 had some ups and some downs. 2021 was off the chain. We lost, Joe, I can't think of the guy's name in Tennessee. Young Dolph. I almost said Young Buck, but I knew that wasn't right. You know, and it looks like there might have been an inside job. Somebody might have tipped him or tipped the killers off as to where he would be. I mean, 2021 was off the chain. One thing that really jumped out right at the end of 2021 is Betty White passed away. Now let's just keep it real here. Betty White was a boss. Betty White was a boss. When she was, you know, younger, she had a talk show. And she had a dancer who happened to be a black man. And that man could dance his ass off. And Betty would have dialogue with him on the show. And people from the South was like, hey, why she's talking to him? We need to get him off the air. We don't like that. And the producers of the show said, hey, Betty, we're getting feedback that you shouldn't be talking to the black dancer. You need to cut that out. You know what she did? She talked to him even more. She talked to him even more. Betty White was a boss. Don't get it twisted. And throughout her entire career, she wasn't shy about speaking up. Not just because it was in vogue, not just because there was a big movement. She didn't have to have a big movement. She did it anyway. She was her own movement. And she was funny as hell. Don't get it twisted. Betty White would tell a joke that was funny as hell even in her later years. But she was a boss. So to commemorate the passing of Betty White, I found this clip that we just gotta play. It went viral, and if you did not know where it came from, this is the original, what's the right word? The original soulful rendition of Thank You for Being a Friend. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Travel down the road and back again.
Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl. Oh, yeah. This is my part right here. Ooh, Hallelujah.
I didn't know it was a real TikTok. I thought it was just somebody, was being funny. But yeah, and why did he have to, first of all, why did he have a wig on in the first place? And second of all, why did he pull it off when he got to the, the crescendo of it? I just don't understand, but he killed it. Betty White, rest in peace, rest in peace. All right, let's keep on going with it now. Some other things that happened in 2021. Them Braves, don't act like you don't know. Them Braves, they showed up and showed out. Them Braves. Now, they had to move to Cobb County, and when they did the parade, they were driving fast as hell, but they still won the World Series. And they didn't barely win it. They put a beat down on Houston. Spanked that butt. Yes, they did. Another thing that happened in 2021. Kasim Reed entered the mayor's race, trying to get his old job back. Yes, he did. And there was a young lady who reminded him of how much he lied to them, how he took advantage of them, how he basically, I'm paraphrasing her words now, misrepresented what was going to happen to their homes. And he had to sit there and he had to take it. All he could do was sit there and take it. Now, don't get it twisted. He tried to leave. I believe he saw her. I believe that he knew what was getting ready to come, and he said, I got to get out of here. I'm on a time limit. We said it was going to stop at 7. He was the only person that was trying to leave. And guess what? He caught that smoke. I'm going to give it to you like this. He absolutely deserved it. Absolutely deserved it. A lot of the things that are happening in the West End with people being gentrified, people being pushed out, happened on his watch. And he did it like a bully, steamrolling people, being just a nasty person to deal with, saying one thing in private, in public, doing something completely different. Two-faced, got what he deserved, didn't get reelected or didn't get elected again because everybody saw through you. Shirley Franklin came out against you and said anybody but Kasim, because this guy, I'm paraphrasing her words, this guy will misrepresent the truth. This guy doesn't operate with integrity. He should not be Atlanta's mayor. Anybody but Kasim. And he didn't make it. Now, there was a runoff between Felicia Moore and Andre Dickens. Now, Felicia Moore almost won enough votes to win outright without a primary. In the city of Atlanta, history dictates that the city council president never becomes the mayor. Felicia Moore was trying to break that trend. It did not happen. Now Atlanta has a mayor named Andre. From Keisha to Andre. That's what's happened in 2020. Again, also in 2021, rather, Keisha Lance Bottoms decided not to run again. Said, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, Atlanta. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't got to do this. I'm going home with my husband and my family. Don't get it twisted now. She's very, very well connected. Very, very well connected. So you have not heard the last of Keisha Lance Bottoms, just like you have not heard the last of Stacey Abrams. Because what also happened in 2021 is Georgia got 2 new Democratic senators. Let's talk about why they got them. First of all, Brian Kemp, as the Secretary of State running for governor, cheated his ass off. Just absolutely cheated his ass off. The first thing he did was purge the rolls. Now they say, well, we got to make sure the rolls are clean so that if people pass away and all this other stuff, and what if people move? You know what? If they were serious about that, they would tie it directly to your records that you can get from the United States Post Office. You can validate addresses that way. Guess what? Your bank does it. If you move and you call your bank and say, hey, I need to update my address, in all likelihood, your bank will say, don't worry about it. We got that, player. We'll know where you'll be. And they will check it against the United States Postal Service. And they will update your address that way. Most banks will. Guess what, though? If the state did that, people would still be registered and they would still be able to vote. What the state does right now is they send out a little postcard to where you used to live or the address they have on file. If you don't get that and you don't respond, guess what? You're purged from the rolls. In Georgia, there was a state senator who said that voting is a right and a privilege. No, the hell it ain't. It's a right. It's not a privilege. They were saying if you don't vote in 2 elections, you automatically come off the rolls. Bull. That is unconstitutional. That is unconstitutional. Well, we got to contact, no. What you are doing in Georgia is making sure that you suppress the vote as much as possible. And that came to bite Stacey Abrams. By just over 50,000 votes, she lost the election. The amount of people who were purged were just over, I believe, just over 100,000 people who were purged from the rolls. I can guarantee you that the people who were purged were in Democratic areas. So, Stacey lost that election, but she kept on fighting. And there were things that happened as a result of Stacey losing that made sure that during the next election, things were already in place. Okay, now remember we had COVID. And so what they had to do, they had to make some accommodations for people by making sure that mail-in ballots could be taken and collected, and they made sure all these rules were in place. Now, this was done under a Republican-controlled government. These were Republican rules. And guess what? People showed up and voted. And it was one of the highest turnouts in Georgia's voting history. And guess what? Purdue and Loeffler lost. So guess what else happened? They went and changed the rules. You know where the changes have the biggest impact? In Metro Atlanta, they reduced the number of drop boxes. They took the drop boxes from the outside and put them on the inside. Now they're only available during business hours. They changed all this stuff up because they lost. Now these were the rules that were voted on by Republicans. And they still changed them. They said that our voting, we got to make sure our election integrity is at the front of the reasoning behind this, that, and the other, while also saying the election was very secure. We didn't find any problems with the election. Everything was above board. But now we got to make sure, talking out of both sides of their faces. So we got Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator Jon Ossoff in 2021. Hey, just about a year ago. That's when they took office. Now, of course, Senator Warnock is running against Herschel Walker. And there's Gary Black, I believe his name. He's also running for senator in the state of Georgia. But you know what else happened in 2021? David Perdue decides that he's going to run for the Republican nomination of governor. So for the first time in quite a while, we have a major Republican challenger to a sitting Republican governor. Perdue is backed by Trump. Now, Trump, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, this is getting ridiculous. I mean, it's getting absolutely ridiculous. And people are loving on this dude. So we got Brian Kemp against David Perdue running on the Republican side. And Stacey Abrams on the Democratic side is just sitting back, waiting, because she's going to bring that heat. Now, remember when Kemp was running against Stacey Abrams before the last debate, he didn't show up. He didn't show up because she was killing him in the debates. He would make something, you know, he sounds like he's from Georgia, and Georgia is what Georgia does. He's definitely from the Athens-Clarke County area, definitely. And Stacey Abrams, just as polished as she wants to be, Spelmanite, Spelman graduate, just in case you don't know what a Spelmanite is. And she stood there and she was just killing him left and right. And he did not go to the last debate. Left her standing there because he knew that she was already on him. And then he came out and said that she was cheating and there's going to be an investigation launched into her campaign Nothing ever came of it. Nothing. So 2021 was a trip. 2021 was a trip. What else happened in 2021? Let's see. First of all, talking about trip, women, y'all be tripping. Y'all really be tripping sometimes, ladies. All we try to do is the very best we can for you. And it doesn't seem like it's enough. So sometimes y'all be tripping one, but I want to talk about how y'all be tripping two. It's crazy the way y'all trip. And all we want is some peace. So we gonna play Women Y'all Be Tripping Too, and we're gonna come back and talk about it. Go ahead and roll that clip.
The other day.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I passed that bitch house.
Who?
You know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Talking about old girl I used to talk to 2 years ago?
That was only 2 years ago.
Why you bringing up old shit?
I'm always bringing up old shit because you always give me new old shit to bring up.
What? That don't even make sense.
And honestly, if you want to get an attitude with me for bringing something up to you, telling you my feelings, I should just leave. How about that? Since you want to get an attitude. You not gonna try to stop me?
No! I'm not trying to leave!
Well, I'm not trying to leave either, but you supposed to try to stop me, and now that I know that you ain't even gonna try to stop me, I'ma actually leave. And this time, if you try to stop me, I'm not gonna stop.
Man, why the fuck you always trying to argue?
You trying to stop me from leaving?
I'm not trying to leave.
I ain't trying to leave either.
I'm just trying to understand. You braiding his hair. Now, first of all, why the hell he got more hair than you do? But you know what? Young folk these days is all good. I can't even grow hair. I'm hating. But I'm just trying to understand what it is about women when they be tripping. I mean, he didn't even do nothing from 2 years ago. He getting his hair braided. This was supposed to be an intimate moment. Cherish the bond. She braiding to the scalp. And then she get up, do all that, and then end up come back, finish braiding his hair. What a waste of time. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Now, what probably happened after she finished braiding his hair is they probably had sex. They probably had intercourse with you. Relations. They probably did. But after that, there was a post-sex interview. Now, I want y'all to understand, if there was actually an interview after we put our thug fizzle down, it will probably look like this next clip. But I need y'all to understand now, for real, there is a lot of effort that usually we being the men, have to put into intercourse with you. It's a lot of work. A lot of times, ladies, y'all can just lay there, do a little scoochie or something like that, and you know, that's it. Y'all, when y'all ride, y'all only do it maybe 3-4 minutes. Then talk about your knees. I thought you were Meg Thee Stallion. You ain't got Meg Thee Stallion knees now, huh? So, all that to say, this is probably what a post-sex interview would look like with a man that's really put in that work. All right, go ahead and roll that clip for me.
So how'd you do in there?
Well, I found my stroke early. Did what was necessary. I felt like the team needed me to be good today, do a full game, 35 to 45 minutes.
Oh, so you're a long timer, huh?
Well, typically I'm 15, 20 minutes, but tonight seems like it was more necessary for me to be full game, 35 to 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. So is there anything you think you could have done different or better?
Well, we'll take a look back at the tape because we did record it, and we'll look at what's necessary for the proper adjustments, and we'll make those adjustments.
Okay. Does she have a nickname for you?
She calls me Zaddy.
And do you have a nickname for her?
Next question.
Okay. So what are you about to do now?
Well, we'll get prepared for this back-to-back and rejuvenate our body, get prepared, get rehydrated, and be prepared.
All right. Well, have a great one, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. That's what it would look like. I can tell, for real. That's what we be thinking. Y'all just be laying in the wet spot. Y'all be laying in the wet spot. And usually we might get up to go get a towel or get some water or something, because we got to rehydrate, because we done released all of our hydration. Hey, look, I'm having a lot of fun. It's 2022. So let's talk about what we're leaving in 2021. What we're leaving in 2021 is, I understood the assignment. Damn it, you wore that thing out. I mean, you done said it enough. Good gracious. Can't use it no more. We're leaving that in 2021. We're also leaving in 2021 the whole high value terminology. High value this and high value that. If it's already been determined that only 10% of men technically meet that standard, that's enough information. That's enough discussion around it. We ain't got to talk about high value anymore. It's done. We've talked about that enough. No more high value this, no more high value that. Everybody's valuable. Everybody. You know something else we're leaving in 2021? We're leaving the killers of Ahmaud Arbery. Yep, we're leaving them in 2021 because they all got life in prison yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? It might have been Wednesday. It might have been yesterday, but they all got life in prison. Now, Roddy Bryant, he got life in prison with a chance of parole in 30 years. He's in his 50s. There's a good chance that he will spend the rest of his natural life in prison. The McMichaels, they got life in prison with no chance of parole. Let's leave them in 2021. And by them, I mean that whole attitude. The whole attitude that makes them think that they can run down a black man like that. The whole attitude that basically empowered them. There were police officers who said, hey, if you have any trouble in that area, reach out to the McMichaels. They can help you out. They were private citizens. Ain't no help you out. The hell is wrong with you? If it's a police matter, the police take care of it. And the district attorney, yeah, she's been brought up on charges. She needs to be found guilty of those charges. We're leaving that whole attitude, that whole feeling that you can just treat us any kind of way and we're going to accept it. We're leaving that in 2021 because I promise you, if you come at me the wrong way, there will be consequences and repercussions. Now, don't get it twisted. As long as you popping off at the gums, that ain't going to do nothing. That ain't going to faze me. You step in my personal space. Whole different conversation. Ain't going to be no going around like we used to do in elementary school, chest, and we go in a circle. We ain't doing none of that stuff. We're leaving that in 2021, okay? And we're also leaving that attitude, that superiority complex in 2021. We're also leaving the insurrectionist in 2021. It's gotten so bad that Ted Cruz went on the news the other day and he said, yes, there was a terrorist riot and insurrection and all this other stuff. And Tucker Carlson basically made him apologize on air when he was stating facts. First of all, why do you have to go to Tucker Carlson? Why can't you have some balls and stand behind what you said? I'd have more respect for you if you stood behind what you said, like Lindsey Graham did last year around this time. He, too, we're leaving him in 2021 because now he's saying it wasn't a big deal and President Biden injected partisan politics into the January 6th insurrection. Lindsey Graham said this after last year this time saying that he was done with Trump. It's been a fun ride, but I'm done with him. We're leaving Lindsey Graham in 2021. Joe Biden, we're leaving the part of your attitude in 2021 too. I mean, don't get it twisted. You could have wiped out student debt right now. You could have already done that. You could have already done it. You actually are empowered to instruct the person who is the department or the chair of the Department of Education. You could have instructed them to get rid of student debt. You could have done that. You still can do it. Just like you pushed back the deadline for them to kick in the student loan collection practices to kick back up. Just like you did that, you could eliminate student debt. You don't want to do that because immediately it would have a major impact on people in the African American communities. Immediately. Now, Kamala Harris has this idea, hey, we can forgive debt if you are a business owner in a low-income area. Damn that. Damn that. I don't live in a low-income area. So you mean to tell me I'm excluded? No. Just eliminate the debt. Forgive the debt. That's it. Forgive the debt. It's so difficult. Now, it's not impossible. People do pay off their student loans. It is so difficult to do because of the way the interest is. Everything goes to interest first. Everything. It's crazy. It takes a long time unless you're really making some serious payments to pay those loans off. And the amount of interest is, it's not eliminate the debt. That's what it boils down to. I'm not going to go too far with that. Just eliminate the debt. So Joe Biden, we are leaving you and that part of you in 2021. Step up to the plate. What we're also leaving in 2021 is this thought that you have our vote secured. When I tell you, you better show up and show out for us in our communities, because it wasn't because of the white people that you were elected. It was because of Jim Clyburn's efforts in South Carolina and getting out the black vote. And a whole lot of other black people voted too. Now, that's not to say that white people didn't vote. Yeah, they voted. Yeah. Make no mistake about it. You got 2 Democratic senators because of the black vote in Georgia. Don't get it twisted. You've been able to get parts of your agenda done because of the black vote in Georgia. So, don't act like you don't owe us. We expect you to pay. I mean, we expect you to pay. This is like Stu is saying, hey, you got my money? Okay, well, in 24 hours, how about this? You just have my money. And Brian's like, well, what'll happen if I don't? Well, I can't predict the future. But let's not go there. Just have my money. We expect to see improvements, and we expect to get a return on our investment in you, Joe, because you owe us quite a bit, crime bill champion. I don't care what you say about how the bill was looked about then. You know what happened as a result of that bill. It's time you do stuff to make it right. Just is what it is. What we're also living in 2021 is the conservatives talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Good gracious. I think y'all love that woman. Y'all talk about her so bad. I think y'all want to have sexuals with her. I think y'all want to have intercourse with her. Y'all talk about her so much. Y'all so fixated on her, and she's actually pretty doggone brilliant. Pretty effective. Makes a lot of sense. Highly intelligent. The thing is, when you juxtapose her with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got one person that cannot clearly articulate how the United States government works, and you have a person that's a steward of it, that studies it, and you love the ditzy blonde. I'm gonna take that comment back. You love the woman that appears to be less educated than the one over here. I don't get it. Do you just want women who are non-thinkers? Is that it? Is it her intelligence that's driving you nuts? Is that it? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, look, this might be fun. Brother Joe, I'm going to take this phone call. What do you think we're going to get? Let's see. Hey, caller, you're on with Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. Give us your name and your comment.
Hi, my name is Eric Pate.
Yeah, okay, Eric, gotcha. The hell is wrong with you? I can tell by the way you started talking, Eric, that you didn't have anything to say. I could tell. Call back next Saturday. 470-251-4647. You missed your opportunity. You probably didn't have anything to say anyway. Listen, we do this every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. right here on Manifest TV. Manifest TV is powered by the Status Network, and we are the future of broadcasting. I need you to follow us on all social media. On Instagram, it's manifesttv.status. On Facebook, it's manifesttv.status. Twitter is status_network_. We are on the Amazon Fire Stick and Roku as Status Network and Manifest TV. You can find us on YouTube as Manifest TV. My co-host Renee, she is Pretty Eyes. That's PRETIIIZ on Instagram. I am Talk with Jeffery. That's Jeffery on all social media platforms except for Snapchat. I'm still not snapping. I'm still not chatting. I'm still too old for that. Make sure you go out and you purchase Let Me Fuck Your Husband by our guest Sahar Taylor. You can find her as @DopeAssUnicorn on Instagram. Now listen, Brother Joe held it down for us today on the production side of it. Yannette, in 2022, you are still my office girlfriend. Jack Trey, he pays all the bills. This has been a whole lot of fun. Happy New Year to y'all. But I am out.
And there you have it. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. And make sure you join us next Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only on www.statusnetwork.net.